All right, let's go through the game. I'm just in awe right now because this was a big game. This week is a big week. Knicks had the Celtics. Knicks had Brooklyn on Wednesday. Knicks are now fifth in the Eastern Conference. They beat the number one team in the East. The Boston Celtics are, granted, they were missing Jaylen Brown, but I don't care. You play who's on your schedule. 5 straight wins at MSG, 6 straight W's overall. The New York Knicks are here. They're here to stay. And it's time to start taking them seriously. A few weeks ago, people were like, oh, I don't know if the New York Knicks, I don't know if we can take them seriously. Randall was still balling out. Jalen Brunson was still doing his thing. But, with the emergence of Emmanuel Quickly now, with the play of Josh Hart, it's time to take them seriously, in my opinion. And if you're not taking the Knicks seriously, I don't know what you're doing because, 19 games left at tonight's game. I keep refreshing the standings because I'm just waiting for ESPN to update their standings. Okay, ESPN has updated their standings. The New York Knicks are now number 5 in the Eastern Conference. It is a glorious day. It is a glorious day to be a Knicks fan. Sorry, I'm just tweeting out this graphic at Knicks Nation if you're not following the main account. Number 5 in the East. Brooklyn is right behind the New York Knicks. What a great day. Would you look at that? You look at that. Would you look at that? I just tweeted it on my Knicks Nation. But yeah, they're number 5 in the East. Put on my phone. You can't see it. But yeah. 8-2 in their last 10. The New York Knicks are 8-2 in their last 10. Winners of 6 in a row. Playing great defensively. Playing team ball. Playing amazing. Sean G in the chat. Knicks superfan. What's up, man? I appreciate your subscription. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Sean or Shan? But hope I'm pronouncing your name right. But yeah, appreciate you subbing to the channel as always. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. But yeah. The New York Knicks, they're 36-27 now. They're 8.5 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks. They're 18-15 at home. That's the main thing, right? The New York Knicks, early on in the season, they weren't taking care of home court advantage, right? They weren't taking care of home court business. And winners of 5 straight in Madison Square Garden, that is nothing to sneeze at. They've been struggling at home, but they're starting to realize, look, we have to take care of home court advantage. We have to start winning in Madison Square Garden. We have to start giving our fans something to cheer for. In Madison Square Garden, they're a great road team. What they have shown us, is that they're an amazing road team. They have the second best record in the NBA on the road. They're 18-12 away from Madison Square Garden. They're 18-15 at home. 36-27, winners of 6 straight, 8-2 in their last 10 games. The New York Knicks are here, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for this last stretch coming up. They've been playing really well. They've given us something to cheer about. And the playoffs are going to be really exciting, guys. And, I hope you guys are excited as I am because this team, the chemistry just feels right. Like, the chemistry just feels amazing. Top to bottom. Jalen Brunson, if he's having an off night, who do you go to? Julius Randle is usually the dominating player on that given night. Tonight, you can point to multiple people tonight. And you can, I could point to Mitchell Robinson tonight. Was simply dominant. Ever since he returned back, I believe that's now, 3 straight double-digit rebounding performances from Mitchell Robinson since he's returned back to the lineup. He's been amazing. Julius Randle, 23 points tonight. Mitchell Robinson, a double-double, 10 points, 13 rebounds. This was against Robert Williams. Robert Williams is one of the best defenders in the NBA and one of the best rebounders in the NBA. So Mitchell Robinson didn't matter. Even had a crazy block on Jason Tatum to start the game, as much of you saw. Hopefully you saw that. If you haven't saw that, please check that out. Mitchell Robinson, Jason Tatum was driving in the lane, and Mitchell Robinson said, "This is my house. This is my block party." So I'm with it. RJ Barrett tonight started off the game slow, but then he picked it up the Boston Celtics were making a run there. And then RJ Barrett, hit some big shots, but then didn't finish the game tonight. He made a bad turnover in the fourth quarter. Dave subbed him right out, put Josh Hart in, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Snipes in the chat. RJ is a bum. Come on, bro. The Knicks are winning. I know RJ Barrett will catch some heat tonight, but let's look at the game. Let's go back to the game. I know he was struggling from the field. He made some bad turnovers, but when the Boston Celtics, I believe, cut the lead down to 8, RJ Barrett had about 4 straight possessions where he scored, and Celtics called a timeout, and that was huge. That was a big turning point in the game. RJ Barrett stopped the Celtics momentum. I know he didn't finish the game right, but I'm just giving RJ Barrett his props for him stopping the momentum. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. 4 straight possessions where RJ scored the basketball. But Chief Eagle, you dancing? You dancing tonight? Man, I'm gonna have to start dancing on these streams for real. But yeah, Obi Toppin, it was honestly Obi Toppin and Josh Hart. They're starting to form some type of chemistry, and I'm here for it because Josh Hart. One of the things Josh Hart likes to do is run. Josh Hart likes to run, and Obi Toppin, he likes to run as well. And there were many possessions tonight where Josh Hart got in space, got in transition, and found Obi Toppin on the fast break. And once again, momentum killers. The Celtics were punching the Knicks in the mouth. Like every time the Knicks made a run, the Celtics would make a run right back. But then the Knicks answered all night long. The Knicks weathered the storm. The Knicks all night long were answering the Celtics run. Josh Hart and Obi Toppin. I believe it was in the early on in the fourth quarter where Obi Toppin, he made some good plays, and it's nice to see because we haven't seen that from Obi lately. So, but yeah, let's look at the comments. All right, RJ is incredibly inefficient, and that's why Thibs takes him out in crunch time. Yeah, I mean, that turnover there late in the fourth quarter was a bad one. RJ Barrett was driving in the lane. I believe Josh Hart and Emmanuel Quickly were on top of the key. RJ Barrett pretty much jumped in the air. What they tell you is to, not jump in the air if you don't, have a decision in front of you. RJ Barrett jumps in the air and makes a ill-advised pass, and after that, Tom Thibodeau called a time. Celtics scored. Tom Thibodeau called a timeout, and RJ Barrett. You did not see RJ Barrett for the rest of the basketball game. So, yeah. Big Task is always pointing out where are the Celtics fans. Look, Celtics still have a good team, but, let's enjoy this one for sure. Big Task, I know you're really accustomed to getting on the other team's fans' nerves, but let's be respectful and enjoy this one. But I'm sure you'll go on this other Celtics streams and have a field day with them. But yeah, back to this game. The Knicks have something brewing with Emmanuel Quickly here. They have something really special with Emmanuel Quickly. You could tell from start to finish, Emmanuel Quickly, I believe, this is my opinion, he circled this game. I'm not saying circled this game, but he took this matchup versus Brogdon personal because Emmanuel Quickly is not getting any 6th man of the year love whatsoever. And Brogdon on the Celtics, although he's a good player, he's playing really well this season, has been getting all the 6th man of the year love. Right now, he's a favorite to win the 6th man of the year. Brogdon tonight was awesome. This is no shade at Brogdon. 22 points, 10 of 16 from the field. But Emmanuel Quickly was better. 23 points, 4-7 from 3. 4-7 from 3. 7 of 13 from the field. 31 minutes for IQ. Fired up all night long. Plus 15. I mean, he's been one of the Knicks' best players this season, right behind Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. You put Emmanuel Quickly right there. He's been awesome. He's been, to watch his growth as a Knicks fan has been honestly amazing to witness because IQ every night has been simply balling for them. And he's doing this, he's only like 6'1", and he's still finding avenues in the lane. He's still hitting his 3-point shots. He's balling, man. Emmanuel Quickly, shout out to him. He's worked on his game. Remember, the knock on Emmanuel Quickly was that he wasn't consistent, right? His 3-point shot wasn't consistent. And what he has been lately has been last 10 games, he's shooting 39% from three. I'm just looking at his regular season stat. This season, he's shooting 35% from three, 12. He's averaging 12.7 points a game and almost a steal a game. One, his defense has improved drastically, and his offense has been consistent. So, big dubs, big dubs. PR in the chat, I see you. What up, Chris? Just go through this. PR, IQ and Josh Hart are fun to watch. Yes, that duo is extremely fun to watch. You bring in Emmanuel Quickly, Josh Hart, and Obi Toppin. They are extremely fun to watch on the basketball court. It's like they have chemistry. Those three players have chemistry already. And, Dibs gives them the green light. Dibs gives Josh Hart the green light. And it's been awesome. It has been awesome. Tyler in the chat, big dubs as always. Big win, 6 straight wins, 5 straight at MSG. It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling to be a Knicks fan. It has been pretty much majority of the season. But 5th in the East right now. If the season ended today, I believe we would be facing the Cavs right in the playoffs, which Cleveland don't want it. I'm telling you, man, Cleveland don't want it. Yeah, PR. IQ put in that bid for 6th man of the year. He is. And, right now, I think the odds on Emmanuel Quickly winning 6th man of the year is like plus 7,000, which is crazy. I don't really bet like that, but I'm just saying Brogdon is odd man favorite. IQ was fired up all night. Every time he was making a play on the offensive end, a defensive end, he was clapping his hands. He was fired up all night. And he has been, that all season long. And this brings me back to my point is when the Knicks players are having fun. Everyone's having fun out there. You don't see anyone sulking. You don't see anyone getting upset that they didn't get the ball, this and that. Thibs makes some tough decisions at the end of the game. He normally benches RJ Barrett, but at the end of the day, we're winning these games. So RJ Barrett will figure it out. I hope he figures it out because at the end of the day, we need RJ Barrett. We can only rely on Julius and Jalen. We need somebody else scoring the rock. And right now we have Quickly doing that, but we need RJ Barrett scoring punch. And we all know what he's capable of. The clutch threes, the 3-point shots in the corner. He loves those 3-point shots in the corner. But eventually we need RJ Barrett. Last game, 25-7. RJ Barrett snapped out of it. So, eventually we do need RJ Barrett to, start playing better and start playing consistently. And I think we will get that. But, it's to beat the Boston Celtics in Madison Square Garden, to have MSG chanting, Boston sucks, to have Jason Tatum getting thrown out of the game, to having Josh Hart at the end of the game pretty much giving a technical foul and get him out of there. It just pumps up the crowd. It was pumping me up, pumping up all the Knicks fans. It was an exciting game. Knicks really didn't let their foot off the pedal all night long. And it's just an exciting time in Knickland. It really is. It really, 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 really is. Let me just get this comment by Tyler. As of right now, the only inconsistent player in the rotation is RJ Barrett. He had some good moments tonight, just couldn't string it together all night long. Yeah, like you said, RJ Barrett had some good moments tonight, mainly in, I believe, what was it? Was it the second or third? It was the second quarter that, he was struggling. He was definitely struggling in the first quarter, and he was struggling bad. He was, doing his spin moves and turning the ball over. And then, like I said early on in the stream, he was there was a time where he had 4 straight possessions. Celtics made their little run, and then RJ Barrett scored, I believe, 4 straight times, stopping the Celtics momentum, and that was huge in tonight's game. If you were watching the game, you know that sequence by RJ Barrett was huge. But then again, he reverted to, turning the ball over. He had a bad turnover there in the fourth quarter, and it was just not RJ Barrett's night for the most part. But I do point to that sequence where he scored the ball 4 times. He was fired up. Celtics called a timeout, and then I do believe right now it's just a mental thing with RJ Barrett. I think he has the talent. I'm just, he struggles when he dribbles in certain situations, and it's just right now I do think it's mental. D Goons, D Gons in the chat snapped out of it against a disinterested New Orleans team. Yeah, but hey, you play who's on your schedule, and Barrett was amazing in that game. 25 points, 7 assists, was passing the rock. And, it's just right now their Knicks are rolling, but at the same time, you have to fix RJ, right? Most of the game, RJ Barrett is playing with the bench unit. He's playing with the bench unit. And he starts with the starters. He's a starter. Thibodeau, it seems like Tom Thibodeau doesn't want to bench him. But for the most part, when RJ Barrett gets benched, he's usually after Mitch, he's usually like one of the first starters who goes to the bench. And then you have Josh Hart and quickly come in. But when RJ Barrett gets benched and when he gets put back in the game, he's usually coming in the game with IQ, Hart, Hardenstein, and then offense is normally running through RJ. So, yeah, man, he'll figure it out. I hope he figures it out because he has some bad turnovers at the end of the game. Had me shaking my head. But, yeah, man, New York Knicks are on fire, guys. 36-27 on the season. They are now number 5 in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to repeat that. Number 5 in the Eastern Conference. The Brooklyn Nets are behind us. Cleveland Cavaliers are in front of us. Tyler, yes, man. 27 heads in here. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Anthony. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Big win against the Boston Celtics, a contending team in the East, and big win against Boston when? Like last month in Boston. And then huge win tonight. Boston's missing Jaylen Brown, but I don't care. You play who's on your schedule. It is what it is. So, yeah. PR Defcon in the chat. Undefeated since we traded for Josh Hart. I think the leash with RJ will be shorter, though, considering Thibs can close with IQ, Hart, but we need him to snap out of the inconsistency. I agree with everything you just said there. The Knicks are undefeated. It's crazy. The Knicks are undefeated with Josh Hart. Since he got to New York, I was super excited. And he's bringing the energy off the bench. He's bringing the pizzazz. He just gives the Knicks a new element that we've been missing. Simple. We've been missing a guy like Josh Hart. And today, who's pushing the ball in transition, hit some big threes. He had some great chemistry with Obi Toppin there. Maybe they can build on that. That would be huge because Obi Toppin has been waiting for, ever since Derrick Rose and Obi Toppin had that chemistry like last year or 2 seasons ago, Obi Toppin has been waiting for somebody else to, help him and build chemistry with him. So I'm hoping Josh Hart is that guy, hopefully. But, yes, we are undefeated in the Josh Hart era. Undefeated since the return of Mitchell Robinson. And he's been honestly awesome. Which is why, the Knicks were, sort of playing okay without Mitch. Jericho Sims was holding on the fort, but you see why the New York Knicks love Mitchell Robinson, why the Knicks fans love Mitchell Robinson. He's had a great year this year. He's had a great year. And he got the contract, 4 years, $60 million, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think it's somewhere in that ballpark. That's proven to be a steal of a contract, honestly. The way Mitch has been playing, double-doubles. The thing about Mitch is that he never normally he never normally gets double-doubles. It's always like 6 points, 8 points, and like 10 rebounds or something like that. Excuse me. But now he's getting double-doubles. He's balling out. He's playing well. And he's playing well besides Julius Randle, which is important. And things are looking up. Things are looking really good. Dainty in the chat, Josh Hart really is him. He's a New Yorker. That's who Josh Hart is, a New Yorker. And, I don't want to talk about the summer. I don't want to talk about his contract yet, but I hope the Knicks re-sign him because, he's just been awesome. He's been awesome, and the Knicks have been awesome since acquiring Josh Hart. Dainty in the chat, OB, Toppin, and RJ bring field goals in the fourth quarter. We're winning it all. Number one scorer. Yeah, Obi Toppin, like I said early in the stream, had some moments tonight, big moments. And whether the Celtics made a run, we all knew the Boston Celtics, they were hanging around the Knicks all night long. Like the Knicks went up as much as I think 20 points. Let me just look at this really quick. I think the Knicks went up by as much as 20 points. Let me just look. Yeah, we were up by 20 points, and I still thought to myself, like, that doesn't mean anything against the Boston Celtics. Like, but Boston kept coming back, and then the Knicks, credit to the Knicks, man. And the thing is, they kept punching the Celtics back with different lineups. You know, it was the starting lineups at first, then it was the bench unit, then RJ had that stretch. Somebody was always contributing on the New York Knicks, and that's the beauty of tonight's game. You know, everybody was contributing. Granted, if you look at the box score, RJ Barrett didn't have a great game. He didn't. But then I look at that 4 field goal moment where he made the basket 4 times in a row, and that was huge in the game. I look at Obi Toppin, and I think of tonight's game as like, granted, you look at 9 points, 4 rebounds. You look, if you're box score watching, you're like, 9 points, blah, 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 12 minutes. It is what it is. But if you watch the game, you know Obi Toppin played a huge role in this victory. Josh Hart, 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, had a big tip of a rebound in the game. Josh Hart contributed, plus 15. The only person who didn't contribute tonight was Isaiah Hartenstein. There were some moments where I do remember a moment where Josh Hart found Hartenstein in the paint, and then Hartenstein just go up with the ball. Just dunk the ball. Just dunk the ball, bro. And then Hartenstein bobbled it, and then they called him for a travel. But I was like, just dunk the ball, bro. That's it. Nice pass by Josh Hart. You're wide open. He traveled. But Hartenstein has been playing well, other than tonight. He's been playing, decent. So, and then you have the amazing play of Immanuel Quickley. It's time that he gets some 6 Man of the Year love. He needs to, because the way he's been playing, the way he's been helping the New York Knicks win, you sit down Jalen Brunson, you bring in Immanuel Quickley, it's like that's a luxury for Tom Thibodeau. It honestly is. And the consistency of his 3-point shot, the consistency of his defense, he's one of the best defenders in the NBA, I believe. And he's he's only like 6'2", 6'3", and he's doing this. I mean, awesome. The consistency of IQ. Julius Randle has been balling, as we know, and it's just been awesome. Tyler in the chat, IQ and Mitch are 2 of the most underrated pieces on this team. Without them, the Knicks are an average ball club. Yeah, Immanuel Quickley and Mitchell Robinson, like I said, Mitchell Robinson has been a beast. Immanuel Quickley has been awesome all season, and you're right. 2 of the most underrated pieces on this team. You can even throw, now you can throw Josh Hart in there, because we know what Jalen Brunson is going to bring you on a given night. Down night, shooting night for Jalen Brunson tonight, but you all know what that means. On Wednesday, he's probably going to take it out on the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm here for it. Last time he played Brooklyn, he dropped, a 40 spot or close to it? But yeah, he's going to take it out on Brooklyn, and hopefully, think about this. I know, Tyler, that smart block on iHeart was insane. When that happened, I was just like, I just threw my hands up, and I was like, there's nothing you can do. They blocked the ball, and then Tatum made a nice pass to Brogdon, and that's all she wrote. But, hey, it is what it is. D-God's in the chat. If Obi can keep it going, Julius can get more rest. Yeah, that's the goal, right? You want Obi Toppin to keep it up. But at the end of the day, we all know Obi Toppin's playing, 10 to 15 minutes a game. So it is what it is. But when he's in the game, he's providing. He's doing his thing. And he's just been waiting for that guy to build chemistry with him. And hopefully Josh Hart and Obi Toppin can build off tonight, because I like what I saw out of those 2 tonight, because they really push the pace. Josh Hart pushes the pace a lot. He loves to run. He made a nice steal on Tatum, pushed the pace, and it was just a great game out of those 2. The Knicks went from 0 point guards for over a decade to 2 nasty point guards on the same team. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Look at us. Look at us. Look at us now. Who would have thought? It's honestly, you can see it in my smile. Like, I'm just happy. I mean, Brunson, quickly. I'm just happy, man. It's been a while. It's been a while that we've had an all-star point guard. I don't care that Brunson didn't make the all-star team. He's an all-star. But it's been a while. And, bringing those two in, those two are playing really well for the New York Knicks. It's honestly been, amazing. Amazing to watch, honestly. PR DefCon in the chat. I can see IQ getting some all-NBA defensive votes. So you see, I can too. I hope NBA coaches are watching because Quickly's defense is underrated this season. And if you're a true NBA fan, you see it. Such huge growth from Quick this year. Crazy. Come playoffs, I know no one wants to deal with Grimes, Quick, and Josh Hart. Yeah, no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to deal with Quickly, and especially Josh Hart. This is why, come playoff time, you need Barrett to get going. Like, you need RJ Barrett to get going because playoff time, you know how it is in the playoffs. Things shrink. Offenses are not that, things tense up. Players tense up. Teams tense up. So come playoff time, you need Barrett to get it going. And I haven't talked about Quentin Grimes, but I do think Grimes has to start, finding his own. I don't know if it's his fault or if it's a coaching fault. I'm leaning towards like a coaching fault, excuse me. But I do think Grimes has to attempt more shots. There's too many times this season where he's like 5 field goals tonight. You're a starting shooting guard, and I'm not blaming Grimes. I'm just saying the Knicks have to find some more shots for Grimes. And although he's been doing great with what they're asking him to do, he's been slashing the ball. He's been playing great defense. But I do want to see when Grimes is going with along with Brunson and Randall, I mean that just takes the Knicks team to another level. If you can get Quentin Grimes averaging like, I want to say like maybe 8 to 10 shots a game, I think that would be his sweet spot for Grimes. And I do want to see him attempting more threes, although he's been struggling from 3 this season. But Grimes, I'm not concerned about him. I know he's in the gym working hard, but I do want to see Grimes get it going a little bit more. Yeah, it was awesome. PR DefCon in the chat saying hit that like button for your boy. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Appreciate you guys just going over a big Knicks victory versus the Boston Celtics. And we are 9 games over 500. We're 18-5 at home. Things are looking up in Knickland. They really are. We need rising stars. Quentin Grimes, for sure. He could have missed it that game. And then it's like when he's in a Knick uniform. But I'm not worried about Grimes. Grimes will be okay. I just want him to be more aggressive. I do. Dainty bringing up Rose in the guard. Yeah, Rose, the thing about Rose is that last game it was awesome seeing him get serenaded by the New York Knicks crowd and seeing him come in a game and, attempt I think he attempted like 4 field goals in the matter of like 2 minutes and missed them all. But shout out to Derrick Rose, man. The true professional that he is. He's probably doing wonders behind the scenes that we're not seeing. He's probably helping out, being a good mentor towards the young guys, helping out them in that aspect. And that's why I don't want the Knicks to buy out Rose, because he's probably doing wonders behind the scenes that we can't see. All we see is Derrick Rose on the bench. That's all we see. But I'm sure Derrick Rose is doing his thing behind the scenes, helping out the young guys and being that true veteran, that true leader that the New York Knicks need. Degon says Grimes is exhausted from all the extra D he has to play. That's a good observation. He does get tired out there, but he does play great defense. But Grimes will be fine. It's just tough finding your rhythm with 2 ball dominant guards. I can't even talk right now. 2 ball dominant players with Brunson and Randall. And then when you have RJ Barrett trying to find his own in that mix, you can throw Grimes in there. But Grimes right now is doing pretty well for what the Knicks are asking him. He's a good slasher, great slasher, one of the best slashers on the team, along with now you bring in Josh Hart. He cuts well. He could shoot the three. Grimes, I'm not concerned about that at all. I'm not concerned about him. I just eventually, Grimes, I think this is like the most he's played in his young career in a season. Like he has been always like injury prone, so let's take that in consideration too. He's played a lot, and granted, he's been healthy this season, and hopefully he can stay like that. Knock on wood. But yeah, man, I just keep going back to these standings, and I love it. So right now, if the season ended today, you would have the Milwaukee Bucks playing the Nets, I believe. No, I'm confused. I think you would have, season end today, you would have Cleveland and New York. Guys, the New York Knicks are only 2.5 games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we have one more game left against Cleveland. March 31st, that could be important, could not be. Let's say we go into Cleveland and we are a half game behind Cleveland. That game could be absolutely huge. So imagine if we jump Cleveland and then get home court. I mean, you might as well shut down the streets of MSG, because that would be crazy if after all this Donovan Mitchell talk and the Knicks jump Cleveland. But hey, we're playing well. They won I believe Cleveland. They won yesterday, I believe. Cleveland won. So Knicks are still 2.5 games behind Cleveland. Cleveland isn't a good road team. They're 13-18. So that's the thing with the Knicks. They're a great away team. They're 18-12 at home, second best record road team in the NBA, 18-15 at home. So the fire is starting to come out about, Knicks fans are starting to talk about, bring on Cleveland. I'm not scared of Cleveland. I'm personally not scared of Cleveland. We've beaten them twice this year, so I do think if we match up against the Cavs, we definitely have a shot to win that series. Definitely. I believe it's more than a 50-50 shot to win that series. I would give it I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I would give it 60-40 Knicks, because we just match up well with Cleveland. We just do. But, we still have 19 games left. So, but I do think the Knicks will stay in the top 6 now, because Brooklyn, we know what's going on over there. So, Miami won tonight. The Knicks have Miami, I believe, this week. We play Miami 3 more times. Those are big games as well. So 3 games against Miami Heat. The Miami Heat are 2.5 games behind the New York Knicks. So those 3 games are big. They are simply ginormous. We beat the Miami Heat a few weeks ago in Madison Square Garden, but Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Heat always give us some issues. So D Gods in the chat, love me some Grimes at me as well, man. Love me some Grimes as well. This playoff Knicks finna be on Spotify and fire. Yeah, this playoffs for the New York Knicks upcoming is going to be an absolutely exciting time. I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are excited, and I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. If we stay right here in the 5th spot, if we can jump the Cavs, that'll be awesome. We are 4.5 games behind Philly. I'm not saying we can do that, but I'm just reading you guys the standings. 4.5 behind Philly, 2.5 behind the Cavs. So PR and DEFCON in the chat, sky's the limit. Playing like this, I think we can definitely catch the Cavs. We match up well with them. For sure, bro. We do match up well with Cleveland. We have beaten them twice this year. The only game we lost against the Cavs this season is the Donovan Mitchell. There was the beginning of the season, and Donovan Mitchell, you could tell he was angry, and he hit 8 threes that game, and Kevin Love could have missed that game, and it was just an awful night in Cleveland. So you're not going to get that every time you play them. We have beaten them 2 times after that, and we have one more game in about a month against them. That should be interesting. Very, very interesting. 41 people in here. Appreciate you all in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel as always. We're just chopping it up here, talking Knicks. The New York Knicks beat the Boston Celtics by a final score of 109 to 94. Quickly played well. Josh Hart played really well. Obi Toppin came in off the bench, did his thing. And, Randall got his points. Mitchell Robinson, beast as always since his return. And Knicks are undefeated in the Josh Hart era. And, things are just looking up. Things are just looking really positive. And it's just, 5 straight, I believe 5 straight in MSG, 6 straight overall. This brings me back vibes to like when they won 8 straight games. It was an exciting time to be a New York Knicks fan. It really was. And right now it is too. 9 games over 500. The Knicks are intriguing. They are. Like, I don't think opponents can look at them and just say, oh, they're the Knicks. We got this. Because on any given night, we've seen what Brunson can do in the playoffs last season. Dominated Donovan Mitchell, by the way. 40-point performances in the playoffs last season. Julius Randle, we've seen what he did versus the Atlanta Hawks. Wasn't great, but I'm saying now that maybe you have Brunson by your side, maybe he's a different player. I mean, he changed his outlook. He changed his perspective. So I'm not saying, Randle would revert back to the series versus the Hawks. I'm just saying, Randle can go off on any given night. And then you have the bench unit bringing in Josh Hart. You have the dogs on the bench. The way Emmanuel Quickly's playing. Things are looking really up. Things are looking well. And, we should enjoy this because it has been a fun season for the most part. And, we have Brooklyn next, I believe, on Wednesday. March 1st, we have Brooklyn. And then we go to Miami on Friday, I believe. Yeah. Brooklyn, Miami, at Boston. I'm pretty sure Boston is going to want some revenge. And then we face the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets just lost Lonzo Ball for the season. I think he just fractured his ankle. So we come back home and for the Charlotte Hornets, and we go on a West Coast trip. Tough West Coast trip. Kings, Clippers, Lakers, the LeBron James injury. So Lakers might be without LeBron James during that game. At Portland, Knicks, these next couple of weeks are, kind of tough, but the way the Knicks are playing, they can honestly beat anybody in the NBA, and they're showing you that they can. So not too concerned about it. And then we have closing out the season, we have a kind of a soft stretch. So, 19 games left, and I'm hyped. I'm excited. I am. PR Defcon in the chat brings up a point. He says, we are playing with house money, in my opinion. We definitely are going to make some noise come playoffs time. Come playoffs. Hype. You're hype. Yeah, man. I mean, are we playing with house money? I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends what your expectations were for the New York Knicks coming into the season. It depends, Did you expect them to be a top 6 team? I did think they were going to be a playoff team. So, it depends what your expectations were. So, but you have to shift your expectations. As the season goes along, you have to shift them. The way the Knicks are playing now, who's to say we can't make it to the second round of the playoffs? Who's to say we can't win a round? And that alone, if you win a round this season, that alone would just excite the entire fan base. And you can build off of that. And then this summer, who knows? You have all your picks. You still have the contracts of Evan Fournier to match up to, in case a trade is out there. Like I said, you still have all your picks. You traded to protect the Portland. I'm just saying, things are looking up. Sky's the limit, and good times in New York. Knicks 100 GM says, we look great for a regular season, but in a 7-game series, we will be exposed. We are too small. Come on, bro. The way Mitchell Robinson's been playing, simply being a force for the New York Knicks, simply dominating the rebounding. I mean, the way Julius Randle has been grabbing rebounds this season, I don't think we're too small. I mean, like I said, if we match up against Cleveland, they do have the Twin Towers over there. But like I said, we've beaten them twice. So, I don't agree with that Knicks 100 GM, but appreciate the comment as always. Ryu says, I'm excited to see if they really can beat anyone. look, I do think the New York Knicks are capable of winning a round this season in the playoffs. I do. And most of that what gives me confidence in saying that is Jalen Brunson. Last season during the playoffs, we saw what Brunson did, and he was a force. He was unstoppable. He has the experience. He's a point guard. He's what we've been missing. He's been playing absolutely incredible this season. And that's what gives me the confidence in saying that. Like, if he gets matched up with Donovan Mitchell, I'm taking Jalen Brunson 9 times out of 10. I just am because of last year. Mitchell's a great player. He's an all-star, superstar. He's a great player. But Brunson has shown us that he's not scared of any challenge. And that's what gives me confidence in saying the Knicks can beat anybody. So, okay, I will come back and say I told you so. Hey, more power to you, man. I appreciate you. We're all, we all have our own opinions. But, yeah, maybe we will be exposed. Maybe we won't. But like Chris said in the chat, PR DEFCON, he thinks we're playing with house money. But I said we have to shift our expectations for the New York Knicks. 9 games over 500, 5th in the Eastern Conference. Like, what are your expectations right now? Do you think that they can win a round in the playoffs? Do you think that they can? Kendrick Perkins last week went on ESPN New York and said that somebody asked him, what is the ceiling for the New York Knicks? He said, the ceiling is the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what he said. He didn't call for the New York Knicks to make the Eastern Conference Finals. He just simply said, I think the New York Knicks can make it to the Eastern Conference Finals because he thinks that's the ceiling. And, when he said that, I was like, oh, come on, Perk. That's just a little bit too optimistic. But, hey, crazier things have happened. Depends who we match up with. And, it is what it is. But right now we're just enjoying this little stretch that the New York Knicks are on. PR DEFCON in the playoffs, defense is king. The team defends and can score with the best of them. I'm not worried about size. Yeah, I mean, that Atlanta series 2 years ago, Trae Young was killing us. The pick and rolls were killing us. The Knicks, the play with Julius Randle, the Knicks just didn't have a guy to combat Trae Young. So I just think this year is different. We're more a complete team, honestly, especially with the play of Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart off the bench. That's a hassle for opponent teams. It really is. It truly is a hassle to guard Quickley off the bench, Hart, and especially if Hart builds chemistry with Obi Toppin. Sky's the limit, honestly. Ryu, I am really hyped to say we can be in the. Come on, now you're saying we can be in the finals. I love the enthusiasm, though. I love the enthusiasm. Let's see what's going on in Twitterverse. And I know Knicks fans are excited, super excited. I'm excited. Honestly, today was awesome. Awesome. This season has been, for the most part, awesome. The New York Knicks are here. Jalen Brunson, Randall, Quickly, Hart, Knicks are having fun again, and it's honestly a great time to be a New York Knicks fan. It is, man. We got a game against Brooklyn on Wednesday. We got to go take care of Brooklyn, continue to win at home, and just continue this winning streak and just build off of this, continue to, separate ourselves from the Brooklyn Nets. Now the Brooklyn Nets are in the 6th seed, so who's to say what can happen? But appreciate you all in the chat, man, as always, tuning in. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I'll be back on Wednesday. Things are looking good for the New York Knicks. I'm happy. You guys are happy. It's an exciting time to be a New York Knicks fans. I've been saying it all night long. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, as always. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on Wednesday. And, yeah, guys, it's been awesome. Awesome having you. So, have a good night. Let's go Knicks. And be back on Wednesday. Peace.